If you're a Bell Canada customer, you might have received an email this morning that sounded a little alarming, telling you your data was illegally accessed. Bell Canada says up to 100,000 customers were affected, and this is about 8 months after another breach at Bell, when email addresses of 1.9 million of its customers were accessed. So Matt Braga, our senior technology correspondent, is joining me now. Matt, I'm not really sure where the significant meter is here. What did these hackers get their hands on?
So, I mean, I guess the good news, the silver lining, if you can call it that, is no financial information. You know, we're not talking about SIN numbers or sort of core biographical detail. It's sort of similar to that previous breach where we're talking about names, email addresses. They've also said in some cases phone numbers and sort of account numbers. So stuff that is, still personal information, but certainly on its own perhaps can do a little bit less than, having access to passwords, let's say, or credit card information. The sort of information that you'd need to kind of combine with other sources of information that perhaps has already been leaked, is already available online to do a little bit of damage with.
Which, of course, is exactly what hackers like to do. Yeah. What are we to make of the fact that this is, the second hack, basically, within the span of a year?
I mean, the short version is that we don't really know a lot because, I mean, right from the beginning, we don't know, for example, whether these two breaches are related. Bell won't say whether these are part of the same investigation. There was an investigation last year. There's one in this case. Don't know if they're related. We don't know when this breach took place either. We know that people are getting emails today. They were notified today, but we actually don't know the time frame in which this took place. We don't even know what part of the company this affected. Of course, Bell, very, very large, lots of different tendrils. They work with businesses, they have internet, they have cable, they have TV, streaming services. We don't know sort of where these user accounts are coming from either. It's one of the big
And that's because Bell won't reveal that information.
That's correct.
So very quickly, as a consumer, it gets a little frustrating, these stories of all these breaches. At what point are the companies going to be held accountable, as well as those who are maybe responsible for the hack or the breach?
Well, it's a good question because you look at the U.S. and you have organizations like the FTC fining companies hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars for data breaches, for cybersecurity concerns and incidents. And in Canada, our privacy commissioner doesn't have quite the same sort of ability. They can take companies to court in extreme cases, but that doesn't happen very often. And so what you've seen is in previous years, privacy commissioners have said, we want the ability to take companies that aren't in compliance with the privacy legislation and be able to levy these large fines to really kind of show companies that, there is a cost when this information is legally accessed in this case.
Okay, Matt Braga, always cheerful. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Adrian.